Hello and welcome everyone to our first live edition of It's All Connected. I'm your host, Bryce West, a writer and editor for the Illuminerdi.com, and this is my co-host.
What's up, guys? Richard Nebens here, and another writer and journalist for the Illuminerdi. And we are so excited to be going live with you for the first time. This is totally new for us, but we're looking forward to it.
And we'll actually be able to interact with the people in the chat, so that's going to be awesome. To actually, be able to take live questions or live comments and stuff like that.
Yeah. Side note, the background looks great, by the way. I'm looking at it on my screen right now, and nice job to you. So Bryce cooked up this awesome background that you see behind us, and yeah, we got some good stuff to talk about.
It's pretty much close to the same as what you've seen with the pre-recorded show, but we do have a nice little border now. I'm working on hopefully getting us some nameplates to be we're somewhere at the bottom of our
of our Twitter handles and everything.
Yeah. And then also shout out to Jezer for making us that sick intro.
Yes.
For It's All Connected. I definitely
awesome.
love that as well. But I'm happy to be doing our first live show here. Morphin Network says,
"What's up, Morphin Network?"
Yeah, he says, "Sup guys, what is up to you?" Morphin Network is an Illuminerdi affiliate, and I'm glad to see them in the chat there. But yeah, I mean,
and do please join us in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll try to answer your questions where we can, along with all our new stuff. We got a lot to talk about today, but if you have any questions for us, feel free to ask them in the chat, and we'll get to them as soon as we can.
We're going to try to remind you throughout the show, because we have been doing the premiere format for so long, but this is a live show.
Yes.
So we will actually
be able doing this right now
to interact with you guys. I think this is number 13 or 14.
Something like that.
So yeah, we've done quite a while with the premiere, so I understand that people might still be used to that. But if you're watching right now, be sure to interact in the chat as well. We also do have super chats as well. So I mean, we're going to be trying to read every comment that we can. But of course, if you want to send in a super chat, that's always greatly appreciated as well. But Richard,
please do.
We have quite the action-packed show tonight, don't we?
Yeah.
We have a lot of ground to cover tonight.
I mean, just as a quick little overview, we've got the Snyder Cut to talk about. We've got the first episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier to talk about. All the Marvel movies got shifted, I think, for the last time, which should be great.
Hopefully,
we've got some casting to talk about. I know there was one other thing that I missed. We've got another Disney Plus series for Marvel to talk about. So, no, we've got a good show lined up. I guess we want to start with the Snyder Cut, because that was the furthest away. So we got a lot of Snyder Cut to talk about.
Oh man, we could be here for forever.
A 4-hour show itself.
So we're gonna try to not have a 4-hour show here tonight, but but yeah, I guess let's get into the Snyder Cut. And let me just start off by saying, wow. That definitely exceeded my expectations by quite a bit. I was kind of 50-50 on the Snyder Cut. I mean, I was definitely super intrigued by it, but I didn't know what it was going to be like, whenever it finally came out. But my expectations were about at 50%, and they rose them up to like 110. Like, I absolutely loved Zack Snyder's Justice League. I mean, I was one of the few people who thought the theatrical cut was, all right. It was okay. But Zack Snyder's Justice League made that movie look like complete garbage in comparison. I don't think I will ever be able to watch the theatrical cut of Justice League again. Like after seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League. Jezer is in the chat. What is up, my dudes?
Love it. Thank you for that intro, man.
Love it. Yeah, we love the intro.
Job.
Yeah, absolutely killed it there. But yeah, I mean, it's 4 hours long, but really the vast majority of it was not. I mean, I feel like the only thing that I would cut is that weird awkward scene with the people singing with Aquaman.
Right after he
But
left.
honest,
Oh, we're getting into spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen the
whoopsies,
Snyder
yeah.
Cut, it will take a while. So spoiler alert.
Yeah.
We're going into yeah.
So I mean, I feel like that is the one glaring scene that was just like, yeah, that probably needed to be cut. But otherwise than that, I feel like almost every single other scene was was exposition for the characters that we haven't really gotten to meet yet. I mean, Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman, those characters, this was their first appearance. And with the theatrical cut, we really didn't really get to have any time to really learn about them, experience with them. Whereas I feel like we almost got each character's own solo experience throughout this movie, and that is something I really enjoyed. Jezer says the movie did not need to be 4 hours, though. Too many slow scenes with unnecessary scenes, but why the hell not? I'm confused by the Martian Manhunter Lois scene.
Manhunter Lois scene, yeah.
I like that. Well, we'll get to that here in a second, but I feel like for the most part, I think the runtime was well warranted with how much ground was needed to cover to give these characters the full exposition and backstory that they needed. Obviously, this movie. Obviously, each character probably should have had their own solo movie before.
Yes.
Because then we wouldn't need to have a 4 hour long runtime. But I do think that for the most part, obviously, there are some things that probably could have been taken out. But for the most part, I do think that the runtime was warranted. Richard, what are your thoughts on that?
There are parts that I definitely agree with you on. I took a deep dive and watched the original, just a few days ago, it was just, I thought that was just a bad movie when I first watched it, and I still thought it was a bad movie now. But regardless, watching that and comparing it to the Snyder Cut, it's a totally different movie. I will give Zack Snyder that this movie did its job in a lot of respects. I think, it gave a lot of needed backstory, like you said, to characters like Cyborg and the Flash and Aquaman and everything. There were a lot of scenes that were in the original that didn't make any sense whatsoever that, were in the Snyder Cut, extended on, and they made sense this time around, I think. But I don't think it needed to be 4 hours long. Maybe three and a half or something. Yeah. I mean, they didn't do the movie justice, no pun intended, by making it a 2-hour movie in 2017. I think there's no way that you can do a good Justice League movie in 2 hours.
At least not this movie.
No. I mean, there were definitely parts that this movie really improved on. The whole Steppenwolf thing felt like a completely different movie. I mean, he actually looked pretty intimidating this time around. I will give him that. The 7-finger thing, just that was super creepy. And I like the fact in this one that he is, the main villain of this movie. If you watch this one, he was the only villain, let's say, in the original, but he was just the main one working under Darkseid in this one. Like, you knew that there was.
Sorry to interrupt, but how do you cut out Darkseid? Just a quick question. Like, how do you cut out Darkseid from your movie? Like, like Warner Bros. This whole Snyder Cut experience has just basically just given me the biggest mind f at what goes on in the executives' heads over at Warner Brothers. Like, I just don't get any of these decisions. Like, it's just and then there's the articles coming out that Walter Hamada, who's the head of DC Films, isn't happy with how the Snyder Cut was going. But then it's just like, what movie did he saw?
Were you happy with the original?
Like, what movie did he saw? Because that couldn't have been the movie that I saw. So it's just like, I'm just so mind blown. I just the executive decisions that have been going on at Warner Brothers since this whole debacle. Like,
Jezre's last comment, Steppenwolf gave me the Fallen vibes from Transformers. I actually totally agree on that. From Transformers,
I haven't
Revenge of
seen
the
any
Fallen.
of the Transformers movies, believe it or not. So,
okay. Yeah,
it doesn't seem
I
like
haven't seen them in
something
a
that I
while,
need
but
to
yeah.
see. You know, so
they're an entertaining, big budget
yeah.
box office movie or whatever. They're not great.
Yeah, well,
there are some good parts in them, but overall they're not great.
Right.
But no, I actually kind of agree on that. I loved the way they did his costume, his face and everything. That one scene where his whole, helmet thing came off and you actually see what he really looks like. That was pretty cool. The whole decapitating thing. I mean, they went for some hard hitting blows in this movie. And I'll give Snyder that. He does the violence well. He does the, brutal stuff pretty well. So.
Yeah, and I think Jezra mentioned Martian Manhunter earlier. I think
yes,
I think that scene. Yeah, I kind of see where he's coming from. Where like he was confused by the Martian Manhunter scene. And I do get that. I feel like I am going to defend it though because like DC or Warner or whoever was in charge basically said no, you're not filming any new footage. And he went ahead and did that anyway, but he did
new footage anyways.
He did it very sparingly. And I feel like if Warner allowed him to just go ahead and say, yeah, we'll let you film new footage, and he didn't have to do it in secret or whatever,
right.
I feel like we would have been able to get a much better Martian Manhunter introduction. But I feel like with what he got, with what he had, I feel like that was probably the best that he was going to do. Obviously, the character has an extensive history with Lois Lane, so I feel like that made the most sense to introduce him in that way, instead of having him just randomly show up out of nowhere at the end of the movie. I feel like he had to show up somewhere in the middle for it to make sense at the end. So I will defend that a little bit, but I do understand the scene does kind of feel like whoa, like okay, that kind of came out of nowhere.
Here's my
go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Here's my biggest thing with Martian Manhunter for me. It doesn't even really have to do with this movie in particular because I thought, he was fine in it. I liked the stuff that he did. He was in it for a few minutes or whatever. He is, I think, my favorite member of the Justice League, especially the way they used to do him in the cartoons and everything from, when I was a kid, when you were young. I loved the way they did Martian Manhunter in those shows. He was always the one who just saw everything and he was just had this, nondescript look on his face the whole time. He just wanted nothing to do with it, anything that was happening. And I just wish that they could have done like a truly good Martian Manhunter in the DCU. He's a character I think that deserves to be done right.
Jezra also says Martian Manhunter should have been more of an architect as far as putting the team together. If this were a comic story, yeah, I would agree. But with this, I don't think so. I mean, for that you have to have Martian Manhunter already set up and already there. With this,
and I wish they would have done that.
I do too. But with this in the scenario that we have, Batman is the one that makes the most sense to actually set up the team together because he's really the only one. Him and Diana are the only ones who really can. They're the only ones who have known each other, and up until this point, Martian Manhunter was just in the shadows. So, in Martian Manhunter, let's remind ourselves that he wasn't even really supposed to be in the movie. This was added in. So I feel like that's another thing to keep in mind as well.
It's just super disappointing that he's like an original member of the Justice League that basically got written out of the DCEU.
Yeah, it is frustrating, but at least we got to see him. Even if we don't get more, at least we got to see him one time. So
right.
So yeah, first of all, let me thank Jezzer in the chat. He's basically sending us our talking points through the chat right now. So we're gonna
also Ryan Beta.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I'm kind of trying to get down the line here. But
yeah, absolutely.
But Jezzer says that the thing excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and what was the other one? There was one that he said that I really wanted to cover. Wonder Woman and Batman took a backseat to the new guys. Yeah, and I think honestly, I think that's probably a good thing. Wonder Woman has her solo movies. Batman was supposed to, whenever they were filming this. But this was, I mean, Batman was introduced before. So we've seen Batman, we've seen Wonder Woman, but I feel like they had to take the backseat to the new characters because we were introducing them for the first time in this movie. I mean, they took a backseat because it was a necessity for them to do so almost because Warner Brothers didn't give them solo movies before Justice League came out.
I honestly believe that if you took this movie and like whether it was 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours, whatever, if this was the movie that had come out instead of what we got in 2017, I think the DCEU would be in a much better place, honestly, because Justice League I think is widely regarded as one of, if not the worst movies in the DCEU. The theatrical cut, I mean. I think if this had come out instead of that, I think things would have been a lot better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, it would have come out in the exact same form. They would have never released a 4-hour movie in theaters, of course. So it wouldn't have been the exact same movie, but at least a movie, within the same vein,
Yeah. Even a 2.5 to 3 hour movie, I think, based off this, cutting off some of the stuff from this, would have been better than what we got.
Oh, I mean, for sure. I mean, because it makes sense to what has been set up. Zack Snyder was setting things up for this movie. And, this lives up to that. Whereas Justice League, directed by Joss Whedon, just kind of throws that all away. Who cares about all that? And just nothing, and we get none of that buildup. Whereas we get some follow up on a lot of the stuff that's set up in Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman. We get to see Jared Leto's Joker in a a much more faithful way than even in Suicide Squad, which was his debut film. So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what Warner is thinking. Like, why? I mean, they had a almost perfect Justice League movie. Like, if you get rid of the runtime, I think you have a pretty damn good Justice League movie. Like I don't know if I could have asked for much better than what we got. Obviously the runtime is an issue for some people. Not as much as for myself, but I do understand 4 hours is a long time.
It's a long movie.
That's a long movie. And so I totally get that. But I mean, it's just unbelievable how so much better this movie was.
And also Jezzer again about Cyborg's dad sacrificing himself. I mean, yet again, just another good point in building up Cyborg a little more than just kind of throwing it in there.
And a very major moment that, again, was somehow completely omitted from the theatrical cut. It's just like...
Yep.
Did they purposely cut out all the good parts? Like, I'm so... Like,
Seriously.
I just don't get
what's funny is even this movie was good enough that I didn't even really pay attention to the whole mustache gate thing. Like, I don't know if maybe Snyder, was able to kind of get that a little bit better because I think it looked a little bit better in this movie than it did in the original.
Well, none of this, all of this footage was before all that. None of the reshoots were in this. So Henry Cavill throughout the entire production of this movie never had a mustache. So there was no mustache to be removed, So,
right, exactly.
So yeah, and thank goodness for that too, because holy,
thank God for that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was just such a spectacular eyesore, in the theatrical.
Just add it to the pile.
And then I saw fans do a better fan made fix for that than the actual studio itself. Whereas they probably had 20 guys working on that on removing that mustache, whereas probably one fan in After Effects was able to do a better job. I mean, it's just
it's just bad.
Oh my gosh,
it's just bad.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, I loved seeing how inexperienced the Flash was. Can we talk about how the Flash just overall was just at least 114% better than he was in the theatrical cut. I mean, the Flash in the theatrical cut was just a joke. He was literally pretty much just comic relief, and that's it. But in this movie, I mean, he saves the day. I mean, he is an incredible asset to this team.
Yeah, no, I mean, they certainly improved on him in this movie than what they did in the original. There were some lines I thought that were just absolutely ridiculous. Like the whole hot dog thing was a little weird to me, but they definitely improved on him. I mean, they made people want to watch the Flash in this movie.
I mean, he was definitely one of the highlights of the movie, and then of course, Aquaman didn't really get too much to do. He got more than theatrical cut, but not as much as Cyborg and the Flash. But then we move on to Cyborg, and Cyborg, of course, we knew this was going to be the case. It was still pretty much the case in the theatrical cut, even though it was done much worse. But Cyborg was definitely the heart of the movie. He was definitely almost kind of the main character besides Steppenwolf.
A little bit.
The funny thing is like Steppenwolf pretty much became the main character of this film. Like the story was pretty much about him, and then Cyborg was pretty much the most prominent member of the League. But really, the story of the movie is about Steppenwolf trying to redeem himself for Darkseid by bringing him what would you call it? By showing him the anti-life equation or revealing that it's on Earth.
Anti-life thing, yeah.
So I mean that's pretty much who the movie's about. The movie's about Steppenwolf, but which is crazy. It's crazy to think about looking back at the theatrical cut, where again Steppenwolf pretty much a joke. So.
Oh no, not pretty much a joke. Absolutely a joke.
I mean the whole mother thing, like he calls the mother box
God,
mother.
Like
what was that
they
about?
Got rid of that.
Like Joss Whedon, I just don't get. I mean, he did good on Avengers 1. And then I didn't like Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
But he did good on Avengers 1. So how can he go from he made
Avengers 1.
He made the blueprint. He made the blueprint for this. So how can he make a movie like the Avengers 2012 and then come in and do Justice League?
5 years later.
Like that. Like, how can he do the 2017 version of Justice League whenever he is the person who literally made the blueprint for this?
Yeah, I mean, Avengers to me I still regard the Avengers as probably almost a top 5 MCU film. Like, I mean, clearly top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably put Infinity War, maybe Endgame on top of it, in terms of just the Avengers movies. But Avengers 1, I mean, I think set the standard back in the day for great superhero movies.
And then Joss Whedon went to copy his own movie and failed spectacularly. I mean, this is of course all of the stuff, the horrible things that have come out about him since. Aside, I mean, I mean, because
just him as a movie maker.
Just as a movie maker, it doesn't make sense. It just, I mean, I'm sure it's partially because of, they completely diverted away from what was being set up in the previous films. But it's just, I don't get it. He literally was basically copying his own homework and then failed the test. Like,
pretty much. That's a great analogy.
It just completely baffles me.
See, here's the thing with me, I think. The difference between like Marvel and DC, Marvel probably had like what they are doing now planned out probably about 5 years ago or something. I don't know if DC plans out,
of course they
what they're doing 6 months from now.
I think Zack was. But
I can lean more toward that.
But no, Warner doesn't care about any of that.
No, it's a cash grab.
I mean they're trying to make a quick buck. And they take the story and what the fans want off to the side, which is just amazing because the fans are the ones who go out and buy the tickets. They're the ones that go and support the films, buy the merchandise, and so you tick off the fans. No, you're not gonna make money. Like I just
and I mean, you look at just the comparison of like the box office. I think the DCU has what Aquaman that made $1 billion.
That's the only DCEU movie. that has made $1 billion.
To make
the only one.
I think Marvel has something like 8 or 9 billion-dollar movies because all 4 of the Avengers movies are. Endgame is barely the second highest grossing movie of all time, and Infinity War is in the top 5. Iron Man 3 made $1 billion. Spider-Man Far From Home made $1 billion. Yeah. I mean, I think Captain Marvel and Black Panther did too. So, like, the fact that Marvel can take those kind of characters who, given, are popular, but they're not Aquaman, the Flash, Wonder Woman, and Batman popular.
Yeah, I mean, how do you have an Aquaman standalone movie make exponentially, not just a little bit more, but exponentially
almost
more
double
than the Justice League? How? Seriously. How do you do that?
Seriously.
How? Joker, a period piece. You know, an Oscar bait film. But how often does an Oscar bait film
break $1 billion?
I think it may be the first. Like,
it very well could be
break $1 billion, and it's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's infuriating, as you can tell. Anybody who's watching.
I mean, I know you're more of a Marvel guy, but I am such a huge DC fan, Richard.
I know,
and it's frustrating, and I'm sure you can see it.
I believe it. As a comic book movie fan, as someone who grew up with like the Christian Bale Batman movies, which were good movies, like it is so disappointing.
Yeah. We're gonna rewind a little bit because I do feel bad. We've left Ryan hanging for a while. Hope you're still watching.
Yeah, for sure.
But we mentioned Darkseid. How do you cut Darkseid out of Justice League? Well, he said he goes on to say because Justice League was supposed to be a trilogy. Darkseid was supposed to be in the second film, and the third film would have the Nightmare.
Supposed to be a 2-part film.
So Warner should probably let him make those.
That's Warner Brothers' problem is they don't let the directors and the filmmakers actually make the movie that they want. If they did that, I think, at least for me, I feel like I would view the DCEU much more favorably.
Yeah, I mean, we had Man of Steel, a great film, and then we have Batman v Superman, and little bit of a misstep. I definitely. It's not a terrible movie. I think it's definitely okay. Ryan is still here. Good to see you. But
so Brian, thank you.
But it fell in line with what was being set up, and then Justice League, completely throws it all away. The 2017.
Can I say at least? Thank God the final battle scene wasn't completely orange for some reason. That was just
the final battle in Zack Snyder's Justice League was unbelievable. I mean the Flash going back in time and then seeing everybody's bodies rematerialize after they were blown up. Like, oh my gosh,
kind of
like
cool. Like the dusting vibes from Infinity War a little bit.
Awesome. And again,
that was pretty cool.
How do you take that out? Like, I mean, it's just like Zach. I mean, they literally. I feel like they literally cut out all the good parts. Like Joss Whedon.
Did they intentionally sabotage this movie?
I mean, maybe because Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers literally looked at the movie. It's like, well, I mean, this is really good. Nope. I mean, just
like
it's like. Forget it, it's just like Jezzer a while ago. We went on a little bit of a rant there. Said, can we convince Henry and Ben to stay in the universe? Yes, if you restore the Snyderverse.
Right.
That's it. Ben is going to be in the Flash. So we know that
he is,
but as of,
what they're going to do with him, we don't know.
As of any more appearances after that, I'd say it's a long shot. I can't believe he's coming back for the Flash.
Me too. That was a shock.
But I feel like if HBO Max or AT&T, it won't be Warner, but if one of those two, come say, hey, Zach, you're gonna do Justice League and 2 and 3, and you're gonna wrap it up. I feel like at that point, Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck will come back in a heartbeat.
And I bet Ray Fisher would too, because he's said on record before that he would return for a Zack Snyder Justice League movie.
Yeah. So I mean,
anything else we want to?
Yeah.
Anything else we want to get to?
One more question that Jezer stated in the chat is Kiersey Clemens going to reprise her role in the Flashpoint movie? Yes.
I think officially yes. I remember writing about that within the last few days that she is signed back on for that movie. Yeah,
was in it, then wasn't in it, and
then
now
left,
is back in it,
and then now she's in it again.
So, so yeah, that's a little bit of an interesting scenario.
Sounds pretty
there.
DCEU to me.
But you know, I liked the little bit that we saw in Justice League. You know, so
we got it for a couple of minutes. So
the Flash's intro scene in this was definitely much better than we got in Justice League.
Well, yeah.
I don't even think did we get an intro scene? I mean, the intro scene was when Batman went to his little Flash cave, right?
I think we got the scene where he was talking to his dad in prison.
Oh, was that
but we didn't get the
whole? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then we didn't get the whole him drawing on that dude's face and being comic relief and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, this is an interesting question from Jezer. Who you guys going to cast for Reverse Flash?
That is a really good question.
That's probably a question for you because I don't know as well about that.
You see, it's kind of hard. I keep envisioning the guy who plays him in the Arrowverse, like, because I mean that's the only Reverse Flash I've ever seen in live action, obviously. Right. So it's kind of hard to imagine.
Jezer said
that is a good.
Jezer said Matthew McConaughey.
That would be awesome.
See, that would be cool. But I want McConaughey from Norman Osborn, or Dr. Doom.
We could have both, you know.
Although one I just thought of actually off the top of my head, Bob Odenkirk. He could be a decent
also for Norman Osborn. According to us, Willem Dafoe is supposed to be Norman Osborn.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
So.
And I have no complaints about that because he's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite.
So Dr. Doom would be really cool for Matthew McConaughey as well. I think that would be awesome.
I would love seeing him as Dr. Doom, honestly.
Gosh, yeah. Dr. Doom or Reverse Flash. I really like that suggestion, Jezer.
We got to get Matthew McConaughey in a comic book movie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Matthew comic book movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know Marvel at least is going to last probably until both of us die. So I'm sure at some point.
And he was in talks, I think, at one point for Ego. They were looking at him for Ego before they cast Kurt Russell.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, and I guess that was a great segue too. Because speaking of Kurt Russell, we've got his son in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, who premiered his first episode this weekend. Yeah, right. So, what'd you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 1?
It was kind of hard. Coming right off of Justice League. Because I watched the full movie in one sitting Thursday night.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. I had a maybe like a 5-minute intermission like halfway through.
Okay. All right.
It was kind of hard, going from that to Falcon because Falcon, it's quite a slow start where Justice League is like huge, like bombastic, climactic action.
Right.
And
it's the Justice League movie rather than Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And so I feel like it's almost really hard for me to say my full thoughts because I want to say that I was underwhelmed. Okay. Because it was a lot of exposition and which we got in Justice League, but with a lot of action thrown in there as well. But I mean, we pretty much got the action at the beginning, and then that was pretty much it for Falcon.
Right.
So I loved it. I loved getting to know these characters a lot more. Whenever we made the realization about that the kid that with Bucky. Holy cow!
That was some deep stuff.
And so we're getting, and then of course we're getting to know the new characters as well. Doing some research. His Air Force friend, Torres, becomes Falcon later on in the comics whenever Sam becomes Captain America. So just throwing that out there.
Good character to set up, just in case.
So I mean, overall, it was definitely a slow start, but I'm excited to see where they go with it. Obviously, we got all of Zack Snyder's Justice League all at once, so we got to see the whole story pan out. But with this, we've got to wait, the rest of the 5 weeks to see where the story goes. So the story isn't finished yet. So I mean, overall,
not even close.
I think it was a decent start. Definitely a slow one, but decent. I really liked seeing the real world stuff, like Falcon trying to get a loan.
I loved that they tackled
yeah,
that.
like how does that work? And especially, how does it work for people who have been gone for 5 years and haven't been making money? Yeah.
And how the Avengers got paid. I mean, that was a great point that he made too.
In other words,
yeah,
they didn't, which kind of
sounds ridiculous when you think about it.
Tony, like really,
yeah,
like that's an interesting
when you
debate
think about
to be
it,
had.
Yeah, when you think about it, Tony was really the only one that was like well off while he was an Avenger, because Doctor Strange spent all of his money trying to get himself better before he became a sorcerer. Bruce was probably pretty well off as a researcher before he turned into the Hulk. But other than that,
Cap. Cap was like 100 years old. He was frozen in ice.
Yeah.
And then pretty much everybody else. That begs the question: where did they make their money? Like, did they have a side
right?
job?
Exactly.
Like was Hawkeye
totally.
working at a bank while like in between Avengers missions?
Right. But yeah, no, I love that they tackled that, and I love that everything that they tackled in this episode was so great. They full on went into the blip stuff. Yeah. They took the Flag Smashers' motivations. I loved how they did that. That they think that everything was better during the 5-year gap, and super interesting. I can't wait to see where they go with that. And what's funny is I agree with you that it was a slow start, but I don't think I actually minded that at all, because
no, it's definitely not
what we really got. What we got was a great story for Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes.
Yeah.
We got more character development on those two guys. Obviously they're the stars of the show, but we got more character development on them than I think in any movie yet, which is also great, I think, in a way, because we really haven't seen them in full since like Captain America Civil War. They were in Infinity War, both of them, for just a few minutes. Same thing with Endgame, except for that last scene. And I think this was a really great way to catch up with both of them, on this new adventure. But the action that we did get,
oh my gosh,
damn
that
good
opening
action.
scene, holy cow!
So good.
The bad guys, what do they call it? Like, are they? Is there a better term than bad guy?
LAF.
LAF.
The LAF guys.
The way that they would spin into the helicopter,
so good.
Oh my gosh.
And we got some more Batroc, which was great. Yes. I loved him in Winter Soldier.
The stunt guys in this, holy cow. Gee whiz. That scene was amazing. I was just, I was hoping for a little more action, but I understand why we didn't get it. I do think that this was necessary, this backstory for Sam and Bucky.
For sure.
But I think coming off of WandaVision and then also Zack Snyder's Justice League, which was very action heavy for both of them at the end of WandaVision and throughout Zack Snyder's Justice League, I was like, okay, here we go, full force, and we did get that at the beginning. So I do appreciate that they were able to throw in a major action sequence there at the beginning.
And it was so good. It looked awesome.
Yes, it really does make up. Excuse me, for the lack of action throughout the whole rest of the episode.
The action we did get was really, really good.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That might be one of my favorite action sequences in the MCU so far. Just right off the bat.
It's easily one of my favorite Falcon ones for sure.
Oh my goodness. Just thinking about how, a real life stunt guy had to have spun in to that helicopter, like somebody did that in real life, It's so just me, just like looking back at like kind of looking at it from like a real world perspective. It's just like, damn, and then of course, seeing Falcon just like whooshing through the sky all over the place.
That was awesome.
He's really going to be the embodiment of pretty much Iron Man and Captain America into one. And I think that is going to
Pretty
be
much.
so awesome to see. I mean,
yeah,
I feel like his
and I
suit
love
is more
too.
Iron Man esque. He's got the
Stark
guns
tech.
and stuff. And there you go. But then he's also going to be Captain America, and so he's going to have that sort of Captain America mentality with him. I mean, of course, he's still going to be quipping jokes all the time and stuff like that because he's still
sure.
Sam Wilson, but.
He's still an MCU character.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more comedy.
And I loved after that action sequence where we saw Sam like working on the actual pack and on Red Wing and stuff. But by the way, Red Wing was awesome. I love him, and I can't wait for more of it. But we get to get a taste of how smart Sam is too. Like, I mean, he's in the Air Force, obviously. Obviously, he's a smart guy, but he was working on that stuff. Like, he really knew what he was doing with the technology and stuff. Fixing the thruster and everything. So that was cool, and I really hope they go more into that as the series goes on.
Oh yeah, and then of course all of the Bucky stuff within the episode. That what we thought was a dream at the beginning turned out it wasn't. His friend who lost his son mysteriously. They didn't know what happened.
Yori.
It turns out that Bucky killed him while he was the Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier, right?
So that is some deep stuff. And then whenever he went to the guy's apartment, oh my gosh! Like I was like, I was so like clenched in my seat. Like, is he actually gonna straight up tell him? Like,
right?
Oh my gosh! Like, thank goodness he didn't. Like, oh my gosh, that would have been. Oh. I can't imagine.
I mean, I love that they're tackling so much of the mental stuff with Bucky. Because, like, I was saying this on our live watch along when I was watching the episode at first, that he has gone through more trauma and more pain probably than anybody in the MCU outside of, like, Wanda and Thor. He's right up there in that conversation.
I think, honestly, he might have dealt with more. It's just we haven't seen it,
Well, and also, he's been dealing with it longer. Because he literally said he's gone from one battle to another over the last 90 years. And I mean, obviously he said he's 106 years old, and he's just been through decades and decades of hell. And I mean, I love that they tackled that. The therapy scene was great. Yes. I can't wait to see more of her, because I know we're going to get it, because she's doing the stuff with Sam and Bucky from what we saw in the Super Bowl trailer when they're doing that staring contest and everything.
I cannot wait for that.
That's going to be such a great scene.
Man. Oh, jeez.
Oh man, yeah. I think she's going to be a good little recurring character in the series.
Just a quick reminder, this is a live show, everybody. This isn't a premiere anymore, so if you all are watching, want to chat about some Falcon and Winter Soldier with us, definitely don't be shy.
Please do.
Leave us a comment there in the live chat. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see more of the therapy scenes.
Me too.
Man. I mean, they're able to be serious yet also lighthearted at the same time, which is I think fairly difficult to do for something like a therapy scene. So,
especially with how much Bucky's been through.
Yes, but Marvel finds a way to do the impossible. Or what seems to be the impossible.
And then one other thing I was thinking about for this episode, like right at the very end, we only get him for a few seconds.
Oh,
but the U.S. agent tease.
Well, Captain America.
I will give Wyatt Russell this. He found a way to make his character completely hateable in about 8 seconds of screen time.
He didn't even have a line. And the online reaction has been unbelievable.
It's a great.
I mean, oh my gosh, he might be the most hated villain in the MCU based off of the 3 seconds that he's been on screen.
Right.
Like, it is unbelievable. I mean, what a great job. I mean, I hated him. For 3 seconds.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I mean, and all he does is wear the suit and shield.
And wear the
I mean, and that's all he had to do, and it just absolutely genius, and it's gotten everybody talking.
And I think I love the fact that they set that up so well. Like, I mean, he did a great job acting it out and making himself hateable. But
just by
the episode itself did the episode itself did a fantastic job too, because at the beginning you see Sam Wilson at the Smithsonian giving the shield back, but he's not giving it back for someone else to be Captain America. He doesn't think anybody should be Captain America because, as he said, that was Steve Rogers. And I think I love the look on his face when the U.S. agent stuff was happening. He looked like he just made the biggest mistake of his life. And I'm betting that that's going to be because we didn't see Sam and Bucky interact at all in this episode, which I thought was really interesting. I think this is going to really be what brings them together in episode 2.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, probably. You know, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see how they tackle this. You know, I knew that this is where this was going to go. But just seeing it now, it's just like I can't wait to see how it's all actually going to unfold. You know, how they're going to finally make Sam Wilson Captain America, because he was very definitive that he is not Captain America and he has no desire to be. But you know, I think with you know, when events continue to transpire throughout the rest of this show season, you know, I think he's definitely going to change his mind.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I don't know if he'll want to be Captain America, but he'll feel like that's what he has to do. It's his duty.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Steve chose him. You know, he didn't choose.
Steve chose him for a reason.
He didn't choose. What's his name?
To be Bucky.
No. White Russell.
Oh yeah. John Walker.
He didn't choose John Walker. He chose Sam Wilson.
No. He's probably looking down from wherever he is, going, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah.
And of course, you know, the government makes the wrong choice with the Captain America shield again.
Leave it to the government.
Yeah. And then I also another thing I was thinking about, we got a little Rhodey in this episode too, which was a really cool sight to see.
I hope we get to see more. Because he was listed with the rest of the series regulars, I believe, in the credits.
I know he was in the credits, yeah.
So and then usually the guest stars are you know
later on or something.
So yeah, I'm hoping that we'll get to see more of him. I think that we will. Because this isn't without any insider knowledge. It's just with the way that the episode panned out, I feel like we're going to see more of Rhodey recurring throughout the rest of the season.
I really hope so.
Me too.
You know what's funny is I don't know if it'll set up Armor Wars at all, because he's got Armor Wars coming out next year.
I'm sure at least a
little bit. But it'll be kind of... Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if that happens. And I love the relationship that he and Sam have now, because they've been at odds before.
Well, I mean,
especially in Civil War.
Rhodey was paralyzed because of Falcon, you know.
Literally partially because of Falcon and Vision, yeah. So their relationship is really interesting to me in that regard. Especially because, like, you know, this, I think, somebody is who Sam probably looks up to, because he's been, you know, a soldier for so long, and that's what Sam's doing, and he's trying to live up to the Captain America legacy. Yes. So I'll be interested to see if Rhodey comes back. I really hope he does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he will as well. You know, but yeah, I think does that pretty much cover?
I think that pretty much wraps up for Falcon Winter Soldier. I can't wait for episode 2.
It's definitely something to look forward to.
And if any of you guys are going to be watching, you're going to be up at like the time it drops. Do check us out. The Illuminerdi does a live watch-along party every week with me, Brax, TC, and Caitlin. You know, we watch the episode. You can see our, you know, ridiculous reactions on screen. And
then you also have the new cap recap, right?
Yes. Yep. New cap recap. Which will be recapping every single episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier every week. You can check it out on the Illuminerdi channel. And so check us out for all of that. We're going to be covering all of it for the whole season of Falcon Winter Soldier.
There we go. Well, I mean, we've covered Zack Snyder's Justice League, we've covered Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and usually in a normal episode, you know, it feels like we're kind of getting to the end, but we've still got
a couple things.
We still got quite a bit to cover, Richard. So I think the next biggest thing that probably to talk about actually happened today, and we've got another new release date for Black Widow, but it looks like that this will finally be it. You know, this will be the release date. It is July 19th, right? 9th. July 9th.
Yep, July 9th. So basically what happened is Black Widow took over Shang-Chi's old release spot, or the latest release spot. So now Black Widow's releasing on July 9th, and it's also going to be on Disney Plus for premiere access. You know, do it if you want. I'm going to try to see it in the theater. I know, Bryce, you are too. So that's coming out on July 9th. Shang-Chi is going to be coming out on September 3rd now, which that'll be easy to remember. That's my grandma's birthday. Shout out, Grandma. Then we've got Eternals on November 5th and Spider-Man 3 still on Spider-Man Far From Home, should I say. No Way Home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rewind. Restart. Spider-Man No Way Home will be on December 17th.
Yes.
I'm still getting used to the No Way Home thing, honestly. I'm sure a lot of people are.
I don't blame you. It can get confusing whenever, they have 3.
Because we've been saying Spider-Man 3 for a year, and
but I'm definitely planning on seeing Black Widow in the theater. I'm fully vaccinated. It's not like, I still plan to, of course, follow, every precautions that are still in play. I still will plan to wear a mask and so, socially distance.
Yeah.
But, I'm definitely, I definitely think it's something that is doable for me, especially by July.
We still have almost 4 months.
I also
that
refuse to support Disney Plus Premier Access. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
I gotta see the movie somehow.
Me too. We gotta write about it.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So of course, yeah. So I just to be clear, just in case people don't know, I am fully vaccinated. I still plan to wear a mask, follow precautions and stuff. With a movie theater, if that's still
but we're gonna see it in the movie
still
theater,
a mandate at that time. We don't know. July is still a little while away.
We'll find out.
I predict that it still will be. But
we're going to see it in the theater.
Yes. I think I just can't wait. I mean, it will have been 2 years.
2 full years since the MCU movie came out.
Was, Spider-Man Far From Home, which feels like an eternity ago.
It's seriously, with everything that's happened since then. I mean, we've had an entire year without MCU content, a year and a half. Then we've got, WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki's going to be coming out before then. And then we've got the busiest 6 months in MCU history, because we have 4 movies, potentially 3 Disney Plus shows, all in the span of 6 months. And sign me up for it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, it is unbelievable. I mean, I'm excited for everything Marvel it has coming up, of course, because they rarely disappoint. And speaking of Disney Plus, Richard, we've got a new Disney Plus show announced, don't we?
Yep, which is an interesting one when you think about it, too. Just a couple of days ago, they announced that Alaqua Cox is getting an Echo spinoff from the Hawkeye Disney Plus show, which is also going to be on Disney Plus. But they've obviously got some big plans for her, because she's coming in Hawkeye, which is coming as right now by the end of 2021, Jeremy Renner's series. She's going to be introduced in that, and then she's getting her own spinoff. Now, they don't have a date. They don't have anything else relating to that. But, it's gonna be awesome. I think I'm really excited for Echo.
So I'm unfamiliar with the Echo character, and I feel like quite a few people watching in right now might also be unfamiliar with the character. So would you like to give us a little synopsis of the character?
I know just a little bit of it. She in the comics she is deaf and Native American. Okay. So that's the 2 of the biggest things about her. I don't know exactly what her powers are going to be, but I know that,
something to do with sound.
Hawkeye's going to, yeah, exactly. So Hawkeye's going to be taking on this mentor role with Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop. We already know that that's a thing, and I'm sure Haley Steinfeld's going to be the MCU for a while.
Yes.
But it feels like he's going to be doing the same thing with Echo. Now it'll be interesting to see. I'm really excited to see that side of Clint Barton, honestly, in that series, because this is going to take place actually a little while after Endgame. He's lost Nat, obviously, and also in that series we've got Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova. So that'll be
the new
really
Black
cool
Widow, right?
One of the new Black Widows, exactly. So that's going to be a big series, and it feels only right for Jeremy Renner's first solo project in the MCU.
Yes, I mean, it's unbelievable that it's taken this long. We're in Phase 4 now, 2021. But I mean, it's good. That they're finally giving these otherwise side characters their own time to shine. I think pretty much every major Avenger has one now. Their own solo project
outside of Black Widow and Hawkeye now. Yeah.
So well, and at least they have it coming up throughout the pipeline.
It's planned.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it's long overdue. I mean, especially with Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Yes.
I am so glad. I mean, Black Widow should have been phase 1, and
at phase 2 at the latest.
Yeah. Back then, it was only like 2010, right? So only like 11 years ago.
2010
but,
she was in her first movie.
Women in film still wasn't really regarded as a moneymaker by the studios, and that's.
I mean, clearly Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, dispelled that idea.
Yes. And thank God, because I mean, a Scarlett Johansson led Black Widow movie is so long overdue, and
absolutely,
and I cannot wait to see her finally in her own solo film. I mean, it is a shame that her character is gone now. We're probably only going to get this one film with her.
Right. I mean, hopefully she'll be in What If, but still.
And that's not to say that I want them to reverse that. I mean, her death was very meaningful and very well, thought out, and so I definitely don't want them to reverse that. It definitely served well for her character, but
absolutely,
it's just I wish that we could have been getting these, from the very beginning.
I agree, completely agree. But I am glad we're finally getting it. This one's going to come like right after Civil War when she's on the run from the government and everything. She has to go undercover back home. And I'm actually really excited for this story to see what they do with it. Plus, we're getting Taskmaster in the MCU. And I think that's going to be an awesome villain.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's definitely one of the major Marvel villains. I recognize him most from Spider-Man PS4. The Taskmaster.
Loved him in that.
Yeah, the Taskmaster.
That's still one of my favorite games ever.
Yes. Oh my, probably my favorite game. Like at least single player. Player game.
I can't wait to get the PS5 and get the Miles Morales version. But I still love playing the Spider-Man one, and the Taskmaster stuff is fun, and it's really hard.
I don't mean to rub it in, but I'm already way ahead of you, and it's awesome.
I know.
Miles Morales on PS5, holy cow, it's amazing.
So good, I bet.
Oh, you have no idea, and just like seeing like the smooth transitions, like there's no load times. So I mean, I beat the game the day I started playing.
Wow. Okay.
Because there's no load time, so there's no.
You cut out like half the time.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just so hard to stop because you're always going, and so with there's no load times. There's no like, okay, after this loading screen, I'm probably gonna stop. The game is constantly moving forward, and so I played it in 2 sittings.
Yeah,
and it is a fairly short game. But
well, yeah. But then getting back to the Taskmaster stuff, I think he's gonna be a kick-ass villain in awesome. Black Widow. He's
gonna be so good.
Yeah.
I mean, just the little bit that we've seen in the trailers is
absolutely.
Gosh, yeah, I can't wait for Black Widow. It's gonna be
awesome. And then I can't wait for Shang-Chi either. I mean, our first like true martial arts movie in the MCU.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sign me up.
That's I mean. My dad and I were talking about this today. He's like, "Who's Shang-Chi?" And I go, "I don't know." Because I'm not too heavy into Marvel, so I'm not really familiar with Shang-Chi. But I know it's a movie that he's gonna absolutely love because he loves those martial art like type.
Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee,
Bruce Lee, stuff like that. He was a huge fan of the first Matrix. Whenever that came out, because they were actually doing those stunts. I think at the time he was blown away that there was an American-made action movie where the Americans were actually doing their stunts.
Right.
So, and you really still don't see that today. I'll be interested to see what they do with Matrix 4 on that. If it's still going to be like that with the.
I think the stunt work in this one is going to be some of the top-notch stuff. Yeah. In the MCU.
Yeah, I mean for sure. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the more traditional martial art, because I mean, obviously with most Marvel movies, you're going to see big explosions, missiles,
Explosion,
space
CGI,
rays like
yeah,
coming at
exactly.
you, but this is definitely going to be a more grounded, martial arts. Like honestly, I'm expecting it to be obviously more kung fu like probably, but kind of similar to Daredevil
Yeah.
with the martial arts.
Yeah.
Like
probably a little bit, yeah.
like very much so, like hand to hand combat and stuff like that. Not like
Up close stuff, yeah.
not laser rays coming out of your hands,
Yeah.
or I'm
I
gonna
mean, don't get
fling
me
a
wrong, those
shield
are
at
fun.
you.
Those are fun and
Yes,
all, but
yeah,
this one is
for
gonna
sure.
be this one's gonna be a great time. And especially the way Simu Liu is talking about it, I mean, he absolutely loves being a Marvel superhero. I can't wait to see how that translates on screen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And then Loki, did we something happened with, did we get a new poster for Loki? I know we've
We
had the
did. We
release
did
date
get the
for a
new.
while.
We did get the new poster for Loki. It's just it's Tom Hiddleston in the TVA outfit. I think he's got that collar on. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think Loki is going to be
Oh,
something pretty
that's
crazy
gonna
when
be
it
a lot
comes.
of fun. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
June 20,
June 11th.
11. I can get the months, but
Yeah,
yeah, that one is
yeah,
going to be unbelievable. I cannot wait for that. And then
yeah. Then we got Loki, then What If, then Miss
mhm,
Marvel, and then Hawkeye. It's going to be a good
just
year for
a
Marvel.
Marvel dump, and a
Yeah,
good dump. Uh, you know,
a great
yeah.
dump.
Yeah, if this were a dump, like this would be a dump where like the billionaires throw away their trash,
Right, exactly, exactly. But
like the good dump,
yeah,
But
yeah, it's going to be an awesome year.
yes, yeah, I cannot wait for more Marvel, just everything. I mean, like we've said it about a million times in the past, but this is
Oh
going to
yeah,
be the year of Marvel, and I think
absolutely.
that this trend will continue throughout the years, because
Well, because we got even more coming
I
next
mean,
year.
just think about this though. I mean, we've got all the new shows coming this year, and then some of the shows this year are going to get season twos. So
Absolutely. I think What If is already
yes,
confirmed for one.
so is
I
Loki.
think yeah, so is Loki. I think they're working on one for Falcon and Winter Soldier. I would assume Miss
Yeah.
Marvel, because I mean, the lead actress is only about 20 years old tops.
Oh,
So
she's
she's
got
going
to
to be
be
sticking
younger than
around for a
that.
while.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so yeah, they're gonna have
But
her around for a while.
absolutely. I mean, especially she's already confirmed to be in Captain Marvel
Yeah.
too.
And
So
of course, I mean, I love the tie-ins with the movies. The
love it.
TV shows actually matter now. I mean, no offense to
They do.
the older shows, but it's just
Yeah.
they weren't able to make any sort of connections with the movies to make it
Yeah.
makes actually matter that it's
Yeah.
in the MCU. But with these Disney
Well,
Plus
now
shows, these matter.
the fact that they're all under the Marvel Studios,
Mm-hmm.
umbrella now, the fact that Kevin Feige is making these Disney Plus shows,
Yeah.
this is gonna be an awesome run. I think this universe is gonna be more
Oh yes.
interconnected than ever.
And then hopefully as Marvel gets the rights back to some of those Netflix characters, you get to
Right.
see them again.
Which is
Of course
starting
we
to
hear the
happen now.
rumblings with Spider-Man, and then Jessica Jones was rumored to be showing up in something. What was it?
Maybe She-Hulk,
That makes the
maybe?
most sense. Uh,
Yeah, which would be pretty cool,
yeah, I
honestly.
don't know about that one for sure, but yeah, I mean
Right. I think I did
I
hear
think
that
pretty much
rumor.
all of us know about the Spider-Man rumors. So oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
That Charlie Cox is gonna be doing
Man,
Daredevil
and
again.
I sure hope so. I mean,
I hope so too. He was
I
awesome.
mean, you can't get rid of Charlie Cox, and I honestly
Nah.
I want them to bring back the show,
Oh,
put it
I
on
agree. Or
Hulu,
even do a movie with him.
I mean that'd be cool as well. I just don't think they're going to want to continue it on something like Disney Plus or whatever, because they would want to
Yeah.
include the first three seasons, and with their
Right.
whole family friendly model on Disney
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know if that's going to be something they would do. So I feel like it'd be something on Hulu or
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad if they not even like a reboot of it, but just did Charlie Cox's Daredevil again, but just made it more of a canon MCU story. Whether it's on Disney Plus, whether it's in a movie, I wouldn't be mad at
I
that.
mean, for me, they've got to at least keep the first three seasons canon. Like if they want to bring him back
That's fair.
and do and take it in a different direction, I'm okay with that. Make it like in the comics, like make it a new run of Daredevil.
Right,
To where you like the other Daredevil show happened, but this is a new run.
Right, for sure.
So I feel like that could probably be a good way to handle it, maybe if they wanted to do that.
For sure.
But yeah,
But
I mean, more Daredevil is always going to be a good thing, So
absolutely, and yeah, I mean, we got a good year coming up ahead for Marvel. I don't know if there's anything else you want to touch on with that, but we do have one more interesting topic to talk about.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think I got one more smaller DC topic to talk about. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and go into the first one, Richard?
Yeah. So it was just announced today, a few hours ago. Helen Mirren is joining Shazam: Fury of the Gods. She's going to be playing one of the main villains.
I think since they didn't initially, but I think since it's come out who she's playing.
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. I'll find it.
Oh, but, Hesperia.
I mean, the fact that
Hesperia,
yeah. So the fact that Helen Mirren is gonna be in a DC Comics movie,
major actress,
that's a big stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is definitely huge. Definitely some high caliber people getting put on to Shazam: Fury and the Gods. So I mean, definitely a good thing. I definitely can't see a negative to this.
No, me neither. I mean, you put Helen Mirren in something, and it's more or less going to be pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, we don't really have much to go off of besides that she's going to be in the movie and she's playing Hespera. Right. Who is Hespera? I mean, I'm not too.
I know she has some relation to Atlas.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not too familiar with the whole Shazam family. But
right.
Yeah, I mean,
but I know that's one of the big portions of like Shazam getting his powers and everything.
Yes. So probably going to get to see some more backstory with that, which is going to be pretty epic, of course. But yeah, I mean, definitely something pretty awesome to look forward to in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. I mean, the movie won't come out till 2023. Unfortunately, that's a long way away.
Right.
Which is going to be interesting. How do you think they're going to handle the kid? Because the whole point
that's a great question.
Is like Shazam or Captain Marvel is a superhero who like a kid transforms into the superhero. But I mean, by the time this movie comes out, Asher or Billy Bastion's probably going to be my age, 20. How old is Asher Angel? Let me look that up.
I'm looking it up right now.
He's 18.
So he's 18 now. So I mean, he could probably pull off, the young look for probably a little while longer. Hopefully he has whatever's Tom Holland's taking to keep him looking so young.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Yeah.
Because he's played, Spider-Man for 3 years in the MCU, but he's been Spider-Man for almost 5 years now.
Yeah. So I mean, that's definitely I can't wait to see how they handle that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Again, this is.
Is it going to be further in the timeline, or is it just going to be, or what is going to be?
Maybe they're going to have another a different explanation for this. Just a quick reminder: this is a live show where we're finally live. This isn't a premiere anymore, so I mean, we got quite a few people in the chat. So if you want to be chatting with us, following along here, what do you guys think?
We don't have a ton left. We don't have a ton left to talk about. Yeah. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. And if you have anything you want us to talk about, we'll be here for a little bit longer.
So I mean, what do you guys think? How do you think they're going to handle Billy Bastion? Let us know in the chat there. But
how do you think Helen Mirren's going to be in this movie?
That's another big one. But sort of related to Shazam, Black Adam is getting ready to start production, right? Do we already have set photos? Like some of the like not. I mean, obviously they're not filming yet, but maybe
the early set photos. Yeah, so they're starting to build the set. I think The Rock just got the script, and I think he's shared on Instagram like the first page of it or something. But that movie, I really hope that movie turns out good, because there's so much uncertainty with it right now. It doesn't even have a release date.
I mean, it was
in the DC timeline.
But then Shazam got pushed back to 2023, and then they just removed the date.
Right,
so
exactly.
I'm assuming that means that we won't get it in 2023. I mean, we very well could.
Maybe in the fall.
Yeah.
Maybe November or something.
There's still some room there. But
right.
I mean, regardless, I mean, I'm excited to see just the fact that The Rock is going to be in this as Black Adam. I mean, that is going to be badass. I mean,
I think he's going to make a good Black Adam.
Oh yeah, and I mean, he's been cast as Black Adam since what, 2014? Is that right?
Was it when they first announced everything?
Yeah, I think he's been cast as Black Adam since like 2014,
and he still hasn't made an appearance.
Yeah. Yet. It's probably going to be around 10 years before he's finally in the movie that he was announced to be in. Like, think about that. Like, I mean, that is unbelievable.
And you look at The Rock. The Rock is like arguably a top 5, movie star right now in terms of popularity, in terms of, being well known and everything. And getting him in a DCEU movie, I think that's going to blow up. Yeah.
And I mean,
office, assuming everything's back to normal.
He's obviously so committed to the character. I mean, it's just like, I mean, he's been with it for this long. He hasn't backed out. He's. Exactly. I believe he's some sort of producer on the film. I don't know if it's just straight up producer or executive producer. I know he was an executive producer on Shazam, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah,
he was something on Shazam. But I mean, he's definitely connected with these characters. He loves these characters. I mean, I see it on his social media. I mean, he is so excited to get into
he talks
the DC
about Black Adam
universe
all the time.
So yeah, I am so pumped to finally see The Rock come into this role. And I cannot wait to see. I mean, we're hearing about a lot of Justice Society stuff as well, right? With this movie.
Yeah, Justice Society of America.
So maybe we can get a spin-off film with that. And then if they can't get Justice League right, maybe they can try the Society.
We'll see.
Yeah. But you never know. It's not too late to restore the Snyderverse. Just saying. But
I was saying, I'm not expecting anything per se out of the DCEU, just like what to think of going forward, what they could do, because everything is such a mess right now.
Yes.
Like the MCU has things on lock. Like we don't know. We have nothing planned for Avengers 5, but we know it's coming.
Yeah.
And
they have stuff planned for Avengers 5, but we just don't know it yet.
Well, they have stuff planned until the 2030s.
Yes,
so
that's true. Yeah,
but we just don't know about it yet.
Yeah.
So, they'll announce it at some point, and it'll be amazing. And I think they're set up for the long run.
Imagine. I know this is just a completely like random scenario here, but imagine if DC had somebody like that, where they had a story planned
out. If DC had a Kevin Feige.
No. But imagine if they had somebody who started at the beginning and had a story planned out that they wanted to do, but then they just threw that all away, and then that would just be so weird if that happened.
Right.
That's weird. Because actually, they did. I think I remember now. They did have a Kevin Feige, and his name was Zack Snyder.
Or even Jeff Johns.
Well, I mean, Jeff Johns was kind of a part of the whole
the Whedon thing, yeah.
He was definitely heavily involved in that whole scenario as well.
Yeah, but the fact that DC can't so what if the movies don't turn out great? That's one thing. The reception, exactly. Like so what if the reception isn't great to the movies? But it does blow my mind that they don't have some sort of plan or backup plan.
I mean, they're basically they might as well have just gone back to the 2000s where everything was just solo projects, because that's pretty much what all of this is now. I mean, none of this connects. None of this is leading up into any sort of anything. But it was, and it could have, but they threw it all away. I mean, that's what kills me about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Especially the epilogue. It's just they set up all of this like amazing stuff that we were gonna get, and none of it's gonna happen. I mean, maybe Wonder Woman, Aquaman we got. Maybe some of it will be set up in the Flash, or seen. But
I am optimistic for the Flash, at least, if they keep going the way that it seems like they've been going for the last few months, Like, if they can get the multiverse stuff going, I mean, with Michael Keaton's Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman through the Flash and everything, I think that has a chance to maybe get things sort of back on the right track a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, look, all I want, it doesn't have to be theatrical. Just finish 2 and 3.
You just want the Snyderverse back.
Just finish Justice League 2 and 3. You can do whatever the hell you want after that. You can throw it all away and call it a different universe and do whatever you want on the theatrical side after that.
Yeah.
Fine. Just give us Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. Finish it. Just finish it. Sorry, I'm done.
That's fair.
I'm done. Sorry.
Okay. It's all good. It's all good. I know this is your thing.
Yeah, sorry. But, well.
Yeah.
Well, rant side.
Yep.
I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up for today. Unless you have anything else to talk about.
I think that's it on my end. Just like for next week, we don't have any more DC stuff to talk about, but we've got another episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier coming out on Friday. Obviously, we've got the release dates to look forward to for Marvel coming up. I think doesn't Bad Batch come out for Star Wars next month? Because I know we do talk about a little May Star 4th. Wars. May the 4th. May the 4th. I need to remember that. So May 4th is Bad Batch for Star Wars, and then we got a lot of Marvel stuff to look forward to the next few weeks.
As always. But
always.
With that being said, I think that's going to wrap up today's show. For It's All Connected, our first live show. Thank you to everybody who joined in, who talked with us in the chat.
Yeah.
Mostly it was all about the Zack Snyder's Justice League stuff. I think that was the huge talk this week. But yeah, we can't wait to bring to you guys some more live shows just like these. This is going to be a regular thing every Tuesday this time, starting at 6 Pacific Standard Time. Yep. Be sure to continue to stay tuned to that. If you want to be notified of new episodes of It's All Connected, Richard has the new Cap recap.
Yep. And we've got the watch along party, which I'm on, and Bryce has all his stuff going too.
We got plenty of Power Rangers content. That's definitely our most popular stuff here on the channel. I'm on the Retro Sentai wrap up show, so yeah, definitely check out all of our other shows here on Illuminerdi. Be sure to subscribe, turn on those post notifications to be notified of everything going on here on the channel, and be sure to like the stream, like this video if you're watching this after the fact.
Subscribe to the channel.
Yes, just constantly helping out the YouTube algorithm. You know how it goes. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. So.
We can't wait to keep doing this with you guys.
Absolutely, yes. So thank you all once again so much for watching, and remember, here at the Illuminerdi, we're always watching. Take care.
See you guys.